I just talked with Scout yesterday
Oh, nice.
uh, on the new film, and she says that you're a brilliant director, and I don't disagree.
Well, that's very nice of her. I had to pay her a lot of money to say that, but no, that's very nice of her. No, I love Scout, and I think that was probably the first of several films we'll probably do together. And I live here in Louisville, and she's marrying a guy from Louisville, so hopefully we'll do something here in my hometown and hers, maybe her future one as well.
In your directing career, you have worked with some of my favorite people. My friend Tricia Helfer
Oh
uh,
yeah,
in Isolation, and Chris Christopherson, Val Kilmer, Hilary Duff in Bloodworth.
well,
It,
North. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you have a very very interesting career as a director.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I've been very fortunate that I have worked with some amazing people. I mean, those you mentioned, plus Dominic Purcell. I finished directing a film last week with Amy Smart and Malin Ackerman and Ryan Hansen. So that'll be out later this year. So I've been very fortunate that I've tried to, I started Southern dramas and thrillers and horrors and did this action. I just did a comedy. So I love to spread myself around and do different things.
In The Best Man, I mean, this is an action thriller. I mean, the title maybe suggests like a comedy, but it really is a thrilling piece of work. And you've hired so many great people.
Yeah, we were fortunate that Dolph is an icon, a legend, someone I've admired. I mean, growing up in the '80s, watching him, and then Luke Wilson,
Mm.
thinking that you think comedy with Luke, and then it's fun to have something else different with him, and I think one of his first action films, and then going on down, Scout and Nikki and Brendan and Andre Hevchenko, and there's just we were fortunate that we didn't a lot of these films they can be top heavy, and then but we had solid actors, and I believe in every role all the way down. So that's very rare of a film this size, and these action films
Well,
today.
it's got to be a blessing too, because then you don't have to really explain a lot, to seasoned actors. They kind of get it.
Absolutely, and that's why you do some films and you might you do take after take after take, and with these actors you can two takes, three takes, it's like they nail it, and it's we can move on and focus on action and focus on other things within the film. So it's I was very blessed to have such an amazing cast.
Are you open to them going off script and riffing a little?
I am, yeah. I have this feeling that, even Christopherson, going back, it's like if we can get from like A to Z within a scene, how they get there, I as long as they're open to it and the other actors are open to it. I've been in some scenes where one actor was very open to it and the other one wasn't. So it's a fine line between what's on the page and what's not. And you find a lot of the theater actors that I've worked with have not they prefer to stay on book. But I encourage it if possible. Someone like Luke or others for sure.
In The Best Man, what was the most difficult scene to film?
Really, I mean, some of the action scenes. I mean, there's a scene in a pool. There's a scene, someone goes. If you've seen the trailer, someone goes off the railing. There's things like that happen that you know you want to do. Safety first, so that takes time, and you want the choreography, so it doesn't it feels fresh, and you don't want to just kind of it's not two people sitting at a table talking. You want to do something that excites people and gets them, things that are in the trailer and that are in the film. And but that's a great question. Definitely the pool scene for sure.
Was it because it was in water? I mean, that made it so difficult. I mean,
It was, yeah. It was just, we're in the water, we're out of the water. It's it's the timing. The timing, this wasn't a Marvel film where we had 6 months. We had a couple of weeks to do this. And, it really came down to our stunts guys and fight choreographers and just, actors that are open to it. Luke Wilson, we had stunt doubles, but actors today like, oh, I want to do that myself. I was like, are you sure about that? Because it gets pretty physical, and the actors were definitely open to it. So that helped out a lot.
I want to talk briefly about the other character in this film, which is the score. I mean, you have a wonderful score in this.
We do, yeah. It's funny. Matt Gates, the composer there, he blindly reached out to me and said, "Look, I'm pretty much fresh out of school, and would you be open to this?" And I like to try to get back because I was fresh out of school at one time too, and trying to get people to pay attention to me. So when he reached out, I said, "Well, let's see what you can do." And it was the first time I'd ever worked with him, and he just nailed it. And I think he's got a very bright future ahead. Young composer, but I look forward to work with him down the road as well. And hopefully this gets out there and gets him a lot more work too.
When you're directing, I mean, do you fall back on your editing days and say, gee, I got to do this for the cut, or
Yeah, that's a great question. I do. I think in cuts. So when I'm directing, what goes, what was the scene before? Where are we heading? And I just want to. So when I'm talking to actors, they're like, "Well, how do you want to do this?" Well, okay, we're coming off this, so we're going to cut to this, and then we should open with this shot and play it like that. So that's kind of how I see things. And I work very closely with the editor. Jake, the editor here. So yeah, I'm working with him again on the new film that I just finished as well. So
would it be helpful for actors to take an editing class?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, because they always want like let's pay attention to this. So it's like, well, okay, well, we can't just cut from your face to your face. Let's cut to something else as well, like you picking up a cup of coffee or whatever it may be. So yeah, no, that definitely that's I think that would be a huge help as well. And even producing, and I had some, I've worked with some actors that are now producing, and they don't understand the challenges at times that you get on these films, and it's been good. Yeah, it's been really good.
You alluded to a project. What are you working on next?
I've got two separate ones, actually. One, I'm doing a documentary on this guy, John Y. Brown. And coincidentally, 3 days ago, I interviewed Bill Clinton one-on-one. So I was sitting in your chair with Bill Clinton on the other side, but fortunately, I was in person in New York, and he was a close personal friend of this guy, John Y. Brown, who started KFC, owned the Boston Celtics, married Miss America Phyllis George, wow. And kind of a fascinating character. So that's one thing I'm working on. So I left, but right before that, I directed a film called The Christmas Classic, which comes out in theaters in November. And it's how do I put this? It's like a PG-13. We'll try to get it down from R, Christmas movie. But no, it's a fun one. I mean, like I said, Malin Ackerman, Amy Smart, Ryan Hansen, Austin Nichols, who I wrote it with, who's a talented actor. So
I noticed that it had a lot of people with the last name Taylor in it as well.
Yeah, it did, and that just went up. So the actual leads in that film had not haven't made it up on IMDb yet, but no, they, it was hire locally, or my kids conned me out of getting out of school for 3 weeks to come to set and using a set tutor. So now they're spoiled actors, but no, they yeah, that was a fun one because that was the first time my family had ever really been on set, and I've got 3 young daughters and my wife, and they said, if you're going to hire locally, just hire us, bring us. I did that.
Malin Ackerman is a national treasure, I like to say.
She is amazing, and I love that woman. I would do anything for her, and she's she's not an actor who finishes a scene and runs off to her trailer. She wants to stick around and help and work, and I see her one day directing and definitely producing too, because she just has that kind of eye, and she sees things, and she's done so much, and amazing actress.
Yeah, you're blessed to work with her because she is, like I said, she's like butter, as we used to say.
Yeah, she absolutely is, and she's she's wonderful and one of the nicest people I've ever met. And normally you go on a film set and you you kind of do your own thing on off days, but she brought her son and her husband, and I had my kids. So it's like, let's go. So we went zip lining. We went to go play Top Golf. We did all these things together that, over a weekends, I should say. So that was fun.
Do you ever film out here in Utah?
So I used to work at ESPN. So I was a producer at ESPN, covered college football and baseball, basketball. So I've done a lot of games in Provo, and I did the Olympics there. So I mean, I've done a lot there. So I'm hoping to do a feature there one day. But I can't tell you how many times. And plus, I love skiing. So I go to Park City as much as I can. And
wow, this would be the year for it. We have Alta has 800 feet now. It's just huge.
Yeah,
Major snowstorms.
Yeah, no, it's I wish in this film I just did was a ski movie, but we ended up going back to the same town where we shot The Best Man. So one day I'll be there for sure.
Shane, it's great to meet you and talk with you. I'd love to do a longer interview with you sometime, but let's plan that. And
yeah, for sure. Again, I'm not joking. I'm a fan. So when I come in town and I check out your interview. So again, this is an honor. So thank you, Tony. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate your time. But let's circle back and we'll hit the friend button on social media and stay in touch.
That'd be wonderful. All right.
You take care and have a great day.
You too. Thank you. Bye.